What's up guys, welcome back to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank HD. So as I said in the previous video, this is one of my favorite levels in the game. And coming up here is actually a really challenging platforming sequence, probably one of the most challenging platforming areas in the game, just because of all the sudden or certain death areas. Over there to my left there is where the gold bolt is. Of course we have to have the Visibomb gun in order to get that, it's mandatory. Because there's a tower that controls that force field right at the beginning of the level. We have to fly the Visibomb gun and pretty much clear across the map in order to unlock that. So I'll probably show that off much later on in the game. And again, a lot of your deaths happen here from just being too impatient, because the area that I was talking about, the difficult platforming, it's really a very easy pattern, but just me trying to go too quickly and going ahead of the pattern is what gets me killed half the time. So we're not going to be doing that if I can avoid it. We're going across a Magna Boot track here, not to slur my words, and we're keeping close track of this chemical pool as moving up and down here, so we're not going to get sucked into it, because that's an instant death right there. The green one was just did 1 health of damage. I want to be careful for this guy right here, because he is definitely going to use his weapon to destroy the containers, toxic containers next to us, which will cause a lot of damage if we're not careful. So we got him out of the way. There's more of these containers down here, which you can actually blow up before you make that landing if you really want to. But obviously it gives us a higher ground clearance when we land. So we managed to go through that without a hitch. Of course, that was definitely after a couple of tries. Like I said, the pattern is really obvious. It's not that difficult at all. It's just being patient enough to not mess up the pattern. So those guys were already ready for us as soon as we got up here. There's another, what do you call it? Starfighter over here. And first of all, we have to get rid of the force field to even be able to get in there and fight it. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Now, there's a certain weapon we can only have, much later on I'll go into it, where you can actually glitch out these starfighters here. Well, not glitch them out, but you can manipulate their AI into not attacking you, and you can get right up close and personal to them in this section, and I'll explain on that when we get to it. But they conveniently give us an ammo vendor here, because if you don't have any ammo left for your Devastator, you're stuck here. There's no way you can keep going. So I like that the game is well designed in that aspect, to where they don't give you any kind of dead ends or anything like that. Later games in the series would not make any weapons mandatory for you to have unless the game automatically gave them to you. If it was left up to personal player choice whether or not you bought that weapon in the first place, they would not make it mandatory to have it. Which again that's an old school hardcore game trope. Is not, I guess not really trope, but it was something that older games did, where they sort of made it to where you have to have this weapon to complete this objective, but we're going to assume that the player has enough common sense to figure that out on their own, instead of being condescending and be like, you need the Devastator to complete this level. There's some dropships up there we can destroy. I think that might be part of a skill point or something, but we can destroy them later on, so we're not worried about it right now. Obviously I just want to get all these crates up here and get all the bolts. I think we already passed the section where there's 2 starfighters at the same time, so I'm not really worried about that over here. There's going to be a couple more turret guys coming up though. And that did not work out like I'd hoped. I was hoping that would cause a big chain reaction and kill all those guys. But speaking of the game just giving you weapons, the Suck Cannon is still proving to be one of the best weapons in this game, despite the fact that it was given to us for free, and it uses no ammo. And similarly, the Bomb Glove, being the first weapon that we get in the game, is still pretty good as well. If you wanted to save up for the Rhino at the beginning of the game, you could totally do it by just using the weapons that the game comes with initially. So this Trespasser puzzle right here is technically optional, but I definitely want to be taking advantage of it, because it's going to make this next section a lot easier and allow us to get some more bolts. So I wouldn't want to destroy these canisters back here, which are very awkwardly placed close to these guys manning the turret guns. You would think they would realize how unsafe this is and, you know, not do it. So that chain reaction managed to kill all 3 of them. We get the bolts from killing them, and we get to move on. So that just skipped that whole area of being able to be shot by those guys. And we can use the metal detector here if we so choose, but I don't think I'll be taking advantage of that. This is kind of a long level, and I liked to keep it to be 1 video per planet, but obviously with all the backtracking in Act 2, and the planet's starting to get longer and longer. They've had to be moved to multiple parts, especially this one, and I found the perfect midway point for this video, or the last video, to transition to this one, that's for sure. So, using the suck cannon to take these guys out, and then that shield door over there is going to drop, and it's going to reveal a couple more starfighters. So, we want to be ready for that. We definitely want to clear all those other enemies before they appear. And there they are. Alright, we're going to need to get our ass out of dodge here and not get hit. The rockets get increasingly closer to us the longer we dwell around there. It's one down. Jeez, thank God we're not that easy to shoot down when we're operating those things. We're also a hell of a lot faster there. We're not hovering in one place like the Harrier jet almost. So right here you'll notice these square openings in the wall here, and they actually lead to the tube that the guys crawl up into when they crawl up into those turrets up there. And we can actually bring out the blaster and just barely get enough range to get a lock on them and shoot them from behind. And obviously they take one shot no matter what. So we're able to kill these guys before they even become a problem. And then when we get up there, we can just walk by and get their bolts. So that's faster than going up there, realizing they're there, and then either trying to dodge them or coming back down here after you realize they're a threat and killing them after the fact. Nice little caveats of having played the game before, imagine that. Yeah, when I first played it, I think I was like, man, how am I going to kill these guys? And I went back down there and noticed the openings. I'm like, there's no way this can... Oh, it can. So, I think that was the same area back there. It was picking up on the metal detector there, so I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, okay, we're going upside down. This is slightly nauseating. It also is leading to the largest encounter in the game with the most enemies on screen. A downright impressive amount of enemies on screen, if I do say so. So there's going to be several dispensers of these small robot enemies, and they're going to be constantly spawning in new ones as we... There's a limit to how many it'll spawn in, but as soon as we kill some, it'll spawn more in. Thankfully, though, if we go over here to this window, they will not be able to walk up this ledge unless a certain amount of them cluster together and push each other up there. So I'm going to go ahead and suck these guys up and take out these Space Commandos here. And once we have them dealt with, the enemies cannot hit us from over here. I'm going to be using the Taunter to lure this guy closer. He's going to use his melee attack ineffectually against us. And now we're pretty much in the clear. Now we can actually... There's a dropship up here we can destroy. We're pretty much in the clear now. Like, these guys, we can actually grind off of these guys pretty much indefinitely if we want to. It's not really that efficient for getting bolts, but we can sit there and use any strategy we want, kill as many of these guys as we want to. I'm actually going to be going around the outskirts of this room and taking out the dispensers right now while we have some time. We're basically just outrunning the horde of these guys behind us, but we have plenty of time. Just trust me on that one. So we get a negligible amount of bolts for destroying these things, but we're just going to go back over to the window. And we also have well, we don't have it yet. I'm actually jumping ahead a little bit. There's an item that allows us to pick up bolts faster later on. We don't have it quite yet. We're good on health and ammo. Strafe these guys a little bit. Suck them up a little bit. We're not even going to be using any ammo in these guys. They're not even worth our time. Alright. So much for the largest encounter in the game. I had many a time as a kid grinding on that encounter and just sitting here watching the guys respawn indefinitely and just keep fighting them over and over again. It was quite a lot of fun. Felt like you were setting the stage for like an all-out war kind of setting. Just the sheer quantity of them and how overrun we were. So that's pretty much That's pretty much it for the Gemlik base section.
Hello, Captain Ratchet.
Okay.
Hero.
That's some serious firepower.
Perhaps we could obtain a ship in there.
Great idea. Let's go.
Alright, it's time to take to the skies for a boss battle against Captain Quark. And he has Drek's personal starfighter, which the thing is huge and incredibly heavily armed. So we're going to be using some risky strats here, and we're going to be going in full boost behind this guy to take out his engines. So I've been watching too much Macross lately, and all this space dogfighting has got me all worked up. And it's awesome. So he has several different attacks. He has homing missiles, just like we do. He has a mine dispenser field behind him, so he has lots of defensive weapons he can use from behind, which is pretty nice for a ship like that. Yeah, this is Drek Starfighter. It's serious business. But fortunately, we have the maneuverability and the piloting skills that Captain Quark doesn't, so we have the advantage on him. He's already jettisoned 2 of his engines. Right here, he'll pull us in closer. I actually got a quick kill there. Or what the equivalent of, we got a fast cycle is what we got, I should say. We got a fast cycle against him by spamming him with missiles there, because what he does is he turns around and pulls you in close to the tractor beam, and then he tries to fire missiles against you. And there's a strategy for optimizing your damage against him. I'll be showing it off during the next cycle, but I was able to spam enough rockets at him that we did enough damage so we just skipped over that whole phase altogether, and we never ran the risk of being hit by his rockets. So unlike the previous dogfighting sequence at Poketaru, we are actually at a very high risk for taking damage here. We have some high-tier starfighter enemies here that do some serious damage to us, and they have some shields. So we're going to have to fly up in their formation here and take them down. They're the same kind of starfighters that we are. And they're going to be dropping health and ammo pickups, which are critical to us winning in this fight. There's also asteroids we can destroy here. We definitely have to be careful with the large asteroids because they will kill us if we're not careful. We crash into them. We also do not want to crash into the Gemlik base. There's the drop ships I was talking about that are sitting on top of the base. We can destroy those now, just like I talked about before. And we definitely want to get all the pickups from these guys. We need as much health as we can regenerate because we did take some damage in that minefield. Definitely a lot more than we could have even taken on Poketaru. That was more of a tutorial level. And we are not able to get back in range of Captain Quark because he has a high-power energy shield deployed right now, where he's reduced his speed, but he's deployed the shield, and he won't drop it until all the starfighters are gone. So we need to destroy all of them, and that'll give us an opportunity to replenish some of our rockets too. I don't know actually if they drop ammo because I haven't gotten a single rocket pickup from them. Okay, that's fine though. I don't need any rockets to finish this. Like I said, I got the fast cycle. He's already half dead. We just got to get in close and finish him off. We won't actually be able to really catch up to him. Okay, this is the intended strategy here. You have to basically move back and forth from one missile launcher to the other to be able to shoot them down before they hit you. But I'm arcing my camera up significantly to where I'll be able to actually get a few shots in on his main body while we're doing it, so that the cycle will end faster and we'll be able to optimize our damage. So I'm going full boost right now, just trying to keep pace with him. Obviously we can't overtake him. He's going to match our speed no matter what. And we're just going right through that minefield. Like, we don't even care. I don't care about taking a little bit of damage. That third cycle there, that was the last phase before we end up defeating him. Alright, he's down to his last engine, so we're about to destroy him here. But the pattern will change during that last cycle there because he may fire 2 missiles from one dispenser. So you may be prepared to switch your camera angle over to the other one, and yet he has a second missile that's right about to hit you in the face. So we definitely got to be careful of that. There's those dropships I was talking about before. I'm not sure if there's anything else you can take advantage of in this section, but man, do I love these dogfighting sequences in this game. I don't know that this is my favorite one out of the 3. There's one more coming up towards the end, but man, they're fantastic. They've definitely grown on me over the years. I don't know that I liked it as much the first time through the game. So we can kind of stay off to the side here and lead our shots to stay away from his minefield. The mines are definitely a lot trickier to see and a lot trickier to avoid than the missiles are, but they also, we can shoot them down just like we can the missiles, so if they do get in our way, we can destroy them, but it's just so hard to see where they're going to hit you and aim in the right direction in time, so we're just kind of leading our shots here, staying off to the side, trying to optimize our damage again, and he's almost dead. We're only doing as much damage as we can now because we can't replenish our missiles anymore, as far as I know. So, it's been a while since I've done this, so maybe we can, but I really don't need to. We have him almost dead already. This last section is where he has the most amount of health. This engine is not going to drop fast. Alright, Quark, we will have our revenge.
Mayday! Mayday! Well, Ratchet, I'd say you passed the test. Oh, boy.
Yes! Quark is history.
Despite my earlier criticism,
we
I
did
must
see him
admit
just
your
eject. I don't know if
piloting
you did,
skills are
Ratchet.
improving,
I knew you'd come around.
but that has not helped us locate Drek.
Come on, Clank. Can't you just once relax and enjoy a little success?
Hoo hoo hoo, baby.
Betcha this baby can do it.
This is Darla Gratch reporting live from Gorda City. This once peaceful planet is being torn apart today in an unprovoked attack. It now seems certain that Supreme Executive Chairman Drek will not be dissuaded in his efforts to destroy the galaxy for his own selfish needs. All hope certainly seems lost.
Darla Gratch, Channel 2 News.
Yes, I know. It is worse than I expected, too.
Look, maybe you were right. This is a lot bigger than you or me. I was really selfish focusing on Quark.
It is not too late to stop Drek.
Hey, yeah! We've got this new ship. Let's go get him.
Now you are talking.
Alright, so Act 3 is well underway as we have unlocked our third ship, the most badass ship of all three. This thing is an awesome looking, it looks like a stealth fighter or like the SR-71 in real life almost. It's one of the coolest ships in my opinion in the entire Ratchet and Clank series. I wish we could dogfight with this thing, it'd be amazing. So, it is definitely a stealth vessel, we'll be talking about that later on. But right now I want to use the metal detector to sweep up all the bolts really quick, and then there's something else I want to show off before we leave in our brand new ship. Also, I don't think there's a way we can backtrack to our old ship at this point. We have to take this one to leave, which means that our old ship will pretty much just be gone forever, unfortunately. So, you can still see your old ship from here, but it's gone, pretty much. So we're going to wall jump up here, and it leads to a secret elevator. And that's going to take us way up to the top of this tower, which is really, really high up for that matter. And the only place in the level where we have oxygen. And there's some secrets up here. These are the gold weapons. This is where those gold bolts have all been leading up to. We can spend an outrageous amount of money and some of our gold bolts unlocking the gold weapons, which are post-game, New Game Plus versions of all of the weapons in the game. And almost every weapon has one, except for certain weapons, like obviously the Rhino doesn't have one, and some of the defensive weapons don't have one. I figured I'd show that off. That's where we can get them in a regular New Game. The rest of them we can't get until New Game Plus, unfortunately. We'll be showing that off when we get to it. So time to go down to the planet's surface and stop Drek's attack in our new ship.